So I remember her as the church lady,
Wow.
and her faith was strong.
And she made you as a church lady. That's beautiful. Hello, Leila.
Morning.
Everybody's here. she just called me. I don't see anybody. Maybe you took off for Mother's Day. Yes. Mother's Day is a good day to come and celebrate in the church.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, naturally, I grew up in Germany.
Uh-huh.
My father was a musician,
Okay.
played in an orchestra, was a concertmaster. So, because you said you focused
What did he play?
the violin.
Okay.
And so my mother was a very gentle lady.
Okay. Like you.
I'm more independent.
Okay.
Oh, I'm very
Very
independent. But she always was very supportive of my father. She was more in the background, but she was always there when anybody needed something, also for us girls. One sister, she was older. And she loved to be with us once we had our own families. I had them come over once. They came over with my father and my mother by ship because my father had blood pressure problems. The doctor said he doesn't want him to fly, so they had a nice cruise. We treated them to it, and they enjoyed the visit here.
Yeah.
We also took them all over the place. My husband was still alive at that time, and she just was a very warm and good Christian lady. She also went to church. My father really didn't go with her, but being a musician, sometimes he played in a church, so he said, "Oh, today, I did go to church." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But you played, that's not the same." That's the only reason why I went, you know.
Okay.
But my mother was just always there for everybody, all her life, in her gentle way, and you just said to love her, you know.
A lot of mothers do that. They give more room to husband so that he can be everywhere, and they just
Yeah.
little lay low.
Yeah.
I think too, when we grew up, the man was the man of the house.
Mhm.
He went to work.
Yeah.
He worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yes. Susan.
My mother, I will thank her every day for teaching me to be creative.
Okay.
She was, my dad worked nights, and so my mother was there all the time for us. And she would encourage us to read books and draw and make things. She taught me how to sew. She encouraged me to be independent, and she was wonderful. She was wonderful. My mother-in-law also, I got married very young, and what my mother didn't teach me, my mother-in-law taught me.
Wow.
So my mother-in-law was more into cooking, so she showed me how to cook and do things, because I was only 21 when I got married. So
Okay.
so I'm
That's
very
very
thankful
nice.
for them both.
That's a very nice testimony about the mother-in-law as well. Okay. Next, anybody? Okay, we can go in a row.
Well, just something that I can remember about my mom is that she grew up in the Morrisania part of the Bronx, and it was very unique and unusual how her and my father met, because my mother that day was physically not feeling well, And so her mom encouraged her to entertain my then to be, father. And she said to him, his name was James, she said, James, leave me alone. I don't feel like doing this. And then when my father met her the first time, he said, I'm going to marry you. She said, you're crazy. So you could see what happened there. My mom was very spontaneous, and I think I kind of appreciate, weather like this and don't kind of mind it, because she'd be the one that would be kind of taking a walk in as a hurricane was happening or something like that. She was a woman of the elements. I really wanted my mom to, come to a faith in Christ, and before that, she went to Bible studies. They had like these, home Bible studies, and she met someone by the name of Marion Cook, and so I guess my mom got some things from the Bible studies there. But I, as a kid, of course, you give your mom heartaches, especially when you're a young adult. And I would say to my mom, I'd say, all our righteousness is filthy rags. And my mom would have a way of saying, do you still want these filthy hands to prepare your food? So, but I remember she loved to be around people, and people loved to be around her. And just the appreciation of the natural elements, and just, like I said, just her spontaneity.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
How did you become a Christian if your mother wasn't a Christian?
Well, like I said, my mom went to those home Bible studies, but I guess I just I also, through the Cooks, they were very instrumental, in Vacation Bible School. But, moms have a way of cutting you down,
Mm-hmm.
in a nice way though.
Yes. Yes, you.
Well, my mother had to be a good cook because I grew up in post-World War II, and we didn't have that much. I was just a baby, and I was the only child, and my mother was widowed very early. She had a tough life. But I have to say, I'm thankful to her that she let me come to America. She let me go.
It could have been a difficult thing for her to do that, but she only thought about your future.
Yep. That's it.
Veera, you want to say anything about your mom?
I have to say so many things about my mom.
Just one
She's
thing.
a
Ricky,
very
if you-
wonderful person.
Mm.
I'm born in Roman Catholic family. She wakes up early morning, 3 o'clock. She's a farmer.
Oh.
So many people work in the agriculture field. She didn't take care of me only. She take care that all the family whoever work in our agriculture farm, their kids, their education, everything she ought to take care.
Mm-hmm.
And our places, all the gents, they work in the city. So 2 years, 5 years only they used to come to the native place. The ladies have the power to control the family and the agriculture field and everything. So they are like a, extraordinary person like that. And she will cook and everything she will do. In the house, she will never allow the servant to come inside. She will take care of everything. Okay? Like a powerful lady. So, and I admire her. And my grandmother, she is more than. So, like a neighbors and everybody, the ladies only take administration. Morning 4 o'clock, you have to go to church. And again evening and 12 o'clock. Whenever we have time, we have to be in the church. We sit alone and do the prayer. Like that. So we are, our every movement in their control. What we are doing, we speaking with whom, what we are speaking, like that. More love and affection and more control. So very disciplined. I like.
Especially girl children and girl child, they protect so much. The mothers protect them a lot.
First Abhisha, then.
What she said.
I think I'm the only one in the room who has their mom sitting in the same room. It's a lot of pressure.
Who's put your fingers in your ear?
Yes. Do you have to use the bathroom at this time? No, but my mom is great. She extends herself for everyone, and she's an amazing person to look up to. She's awesome.
You have to say that, right?
Yes. No, she is though. I love her so much.
You wanted to repeat it again?
I always tell her
She knows it already.
she cooks every day. She does a lot of things, and she set an example of how you should run a household. So I'm very grateful for that.
We want to go hug her and kiss her.
We'll save it for later. It's Mother's Day after all.
Well, we love her too,
Yeah.
even though she's not our mother, but we love her too.
Ruth has her mother. She has her mother too.
Me, I'm thankful for God because my mom's here. Yesterday I went, I saw her. I made a biryani for her. She likes meat. Then I made a biryani, then I sent her. She's a wonderful person. She thought a lot of things for my life.
Well, my mom unfortunately died when she was 41. I was 26 months after I got married.
Oh.
So, but I was blessed to have her. With a short time. Absolutely. Like it was yesterday. I can't.
It's okay, it's all right, it's okay.
Well, our mom, you could speak. No, she was born over in Germany, so she came here when she was very young. She was 19, and she was coming only for a visit by her uncle. And her mother says, "Oh, the ocean is so big," and she says, and she always says, "Oh, don't worry about anything. I'm fine. I'm fine." So she was a very active individual. She did teach Anita and I respect. Always respect our elders. We never know what we're going to end up like being, so take care of them and whatever. She taught us how to love people, and she was just very tender, very caring, and most of all, she was very always with her jokes, always a happy-go-lucky person. And she met our dad over here then, so, and she never went back to Germany. She came over at 19. We took him back when she was here for 50 years.
For a family reunion.
A family reunion, so she got to see some of her family.
Nice. Very nice.
And she was a lot of fun, your mother.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my
Lottie
goodness.
would come every week when she was a shut-in.
Oh, what a lady.
Yeah.
Oh, my
For
goodness.
coffee clutch, yeah. She was active here in the church, very active. And, every week Lottie came and had a coffee clutch with her.
She had a fantastic memory.
Yes,
Oh,
like
she
Anita.
remembered everything from,
Everything.
yeah.
Anita's
The
like that,
neighbors
too.
would call and say, "Pauline, how long have we been married?" My mom would tell her.
Yeah, everything.
And
Everything.
how long have we been living here? She was a wonderful cook.
Yeah.
She gave out a lot of advice to Linda and I, and religious as well.
But I never inherited her memory. I don't know what I did yesterday. Where was I?
And she loved with the neighbors, helping out. She did driving, taking people here and there. And yeah. And if you didn't know the joke, how it ended, she would explain it. Didn't you get it? I'll explain it. Yeah. And her cakes, her homemade cakes. Yeah. She loved entertaining. My father, like Linda said, was also born in Germany. They both loved dancing. Whenever we went to a wedding or any kind of a party or anything, my dad always made sure at every table, if there was somebody that was not married, he asked the ladies, "Come dance."
Yeah,
He never left
that's what the
anybody
Germans
out.
do,
Yeah.
right? Americans don't do that.
No.
No. Yeah. So, yeah.
One of the things I remember almost every day about my mother, that she had a big habit of saying,
she never said no.
Mm.
It was always, I'd rather you didn't do it. I'd rather you think about it. And today, I've used that one. Thought comes to my mind in many, many things on a daily basis, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Think about, well, should I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying that. And she still keeps saying that to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you keep hearing her.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Well, I just feel that my mother steered us in the right path.
Uh-huh.
She made sure we came to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I just think she was the best mother anyone could have.
Very good. And you still follow her.
I try to.
And then there's her.
Oh, but my mother was a very accomplished pianist. She played anything from the most difficult classical music to what everybody listens to.
Oh, wow.
You know, that other stuff. But I think that's why I can remember listening to her play all the things from the operas, and I think that's why I became so involved in opera music.
Okay. I could see that, yeah.
My mom was a woman of many talents. She didn't play an instrument, she didn't sing, she didn't paint. Her main object was taking care of people. She worked many years taking care of new mothers with their babies. She did that a long time. She just did a lot of things, but her main objective was her church.
Okay.
And we were brought up, we were a very church family. And that was the most important thing to her.
Yes.
She lived to be 100.
Oh.
At 90, she sold her house, got an apartment, and bought all new bedroom furniture.
That's being an optimist, right?
And she enjoyed it, I would say, for 9 years. The last few years of her life were not easy.
Okay.
She never lost her faith, she never gave up, and she just, her last wishes were, please God, take me home.
Okay.
She was a wonderful, wonderful person. I loved her so much.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. Mary?
Oh, well, my mom was someone that you could go to with anything, and she would emphasize that all the time. There's no problem that myself and Dad can't solve. If there's any trouble, you come to us. The other thing was she had a wonderful sense of humor. And the third thing was she was creative. And when I say that, because there was no money at that time, Woman's Day magazine was her thing in life. So whatever was on that cover, whether it was food, you were going to eat it the next week. If it was something for your front door, it was going to be on our front door. And if it was a sweater or a blouse, I would be wearing it. And you know, as a kid, you have such a narrow vision. You think your mother was for you alone. And it was when, after she died, and she died at 55, that women in the neighborhood, I can't tell you, 10, 15, even your mom, had come to her to talk to her. Because she would never, she just would talk. If you asked her for advice, she would say, this is my opinion, but it has nothing to do with you. You have to make up your own mind. And I found that to be a wonderful gift, because she let me spread my wings. She let me find the church that I wanted to go to at 10 years old. And I've been that way all my life. As far as, I miss her terribly. She never saw grandchildren or anything like that, but yeah, but she's in my mind all the time. I'm very thankful.
Thank you, Mary. Grace?
Yeah, my mom used to pray a lot, because when I was 12, my father passed away.
She's still.
Okay, I have to take it from here now. So, Grace lost her father when she was really, really young, and her mom was not a Christian, and but her father was a Christian. So this Hindu girl, young girl, she kind of sacrificed her life to get married to a man who had a polio attack, who could not walk properly, Grace's father. So and he also had a brain tumor. So he left his children, Grace and her older brother, very young. So the mom was not educated, and he was not from a Christian family, and she had to learn everything from the scratch. And I would say all their life, everything was through prayers. Even if the kids, they need a pencil, they have to go kneel down, pray, and pray for a pencil. So they brought up in prayers all the time. Now though she came from a Hindu family, not a Christian family, and she became a very good believer, a strong believer, prayer warrior, and still now she prays for us, she helps us leading through faith, and she's still there for all of us.
She's alive and she's in India.
Now she raised both of her children, Grace's brother and Grace, into a very good position now. So she's established her life through prayers alone.
Yeah. Hopefully she would be able to join us soon. Okay.
Yeah, like India, it was so difficult to raise kids alone as a single parent, without education, and she was from a village, and they lived in a city. They brought their own place. God bless them. It's my time. I don't know how much time I have. Yeah. I'm so glad that we get to hear about my mom and dad every day, and sermon, Bible studies. So you all know about my parents. My brother, being the firstborn, he know my parents as when they were active, when they were young, when they were in the middle age time. But me being the youngest kid of the family, I've seen them as weak persons, when they were with illness, when they were weaker, when they needed support. That time I was living with them. So my position is to speak up for my father and mother. So because my part, when I was living with them, they were they needed support, they were dependent on us, and it was not their early part of their life, but they were hard workers, very strict disciplinarians, no cursing, no lying, they raised us in faith. So still now that's what keeps us going. That's what made my brother as a pastor, and they were my father and mother, they were the teachers in the small village. And even now, if you go say my father's name and mother's name, everyone will remember them, because people they want to they wanted to bring their kids to my mom's classroom and my dad's classroom, because they love them. And yeah, there's always struggles and hassles to to support your family and stuff. But still, now she's alone. She took care of a lot of relatives, a lot of families. There has always been visitors to us, but now she is living alone. But I'm hoping and praying that she will be with us soon.
The other brother is there. He's in the same building. He's staying in the 3rd floor, and she's in the 1st floor. But she's living alone. Thank you for sharing everything, and we had a wonderful. So we have a lot of things to think about it the whole day.
Yes, absolutely.